Hello everyone and welcome back to my beginner series of videos. I am so excited to have you here with me, and it makes me so happy to receive all of your wonderful comments and notes that you're finding my video series, my beginner series, so helpful and resourceful. That makes me so happy. There's so many things that with card making that you can enjoy, and sometimes if you're not sure what to do with it or how it fits into the puzzle, you might avoid it. And so I'm excited to share with you everything about cardstock today. That's right, we're going to talk about cardstock. We're going to talk about cardstock that you must have, right, in your crafting, and then cardstock that's really nice to have, and then some other cardstocks that are fun to have for techniques and for different things and accents in your card making journey. So we're going to go Cardstock 101 today. So I'm so happy that you've joined me. If you're new to Brandy's Cards, welcome. I'm so glad that you are here. And if you've joined me before, welcome back. So first off, we're going to start right away with a must-have. So one of the biggest must-haves is our basic white cardstock. That's right. Our basic white cardstock is absolutely fantastic. Now, along with our basic white cardstock, we also have a thick basic white cardstock. Now, the basic white cardstock is 80 pound, right? So it's a nice weight. It's for general purpose crafting. So it's great for projects, it's great for layers, and of course, it's great for stamping. So that is the basic white cardstock. Now we also have a thick cardstock, and you can really tell the difference. I know it's hard, you can't really see it on camera, but this thick cardstock is super. It is 100 pound, and it's perfect for your card bases, your alcohol markers, and that's because for your Stampin' Blends, you want that really nice blending capability. So it's fantastic for that. And see what else. I love the thick cardstock. It's great for 3D items and of course handmade baskets, boxes, anything like that where you need that sturdier type of cardstock. It's perfect for those card bases. All right, so those are the two different basic whites that we have. All right, so we have the regular basic white, and then we have the thick basic white. So you're definitely going to want some basic white for your card bases as well as for your stamping needs, right? All right, so let me just share a couple more things about our basic white cardstock. It is very clean. So when I make a lot of cards, I generally put them on a white card base. As a matter of fact, I have a couple here. So here's one, here's another one that I have, and I generally put my cards on a white card base. Now, why do I do that? Well, it's less expensive. I also think that less expensive than using a color cardstock, because in the color cardstock, you've actually got a layer white inside. That's right. So it is a little bit more expensive. Another reason is I think basic white is a super clean look. Very clean and very nice and tailored look. And of course it accents any of your colors, because of course you can layer color cardstock on top for that pop of color. I also like it so that when you open it, you have a nice white piece on the inside to write your message. So that's another really nice reason that I use my basic white cardstock. All right, so now let's move on to our colored cardstock. So I'm going to set this aside. Actually, before I do that, we have vanilla. Maybe you're not into white. Maybe you're like, okay, I like white, but I don't like white all the time. Well, I'm excited to let you know we actually have a very vanilla. So we have a vanilla color. I'll come over to the camera here. So I have a basic white to my left, and I have a very vanilla to my right. So you can see that it is kind of that creamish color. And we have an 80 pound regular, just a regular, very vanilla. And then of course we have the 80 pound thick as well. And so you do have the choice, the option, if you wanted to do some very vanilla or cream card bases, you could certainly do that using the thick as well. Now both of these cardstocks come in 8.5 by 11. So just so you know, that is the most common size, and that is the size that they are offered to you and in Stampin' Up. All right, so let's just talk one more thing about the basic white. One thing that I really like is that it's smooth. That's right, so it's kind of an ultra smooth cardstock, and that's by design. Because when you stamp on it, it's meant to have that smooth surface so that it absorbs enough of the ink, so it handles the color well, so you get that crisp, clear image. So sometimes you may have bought a white cardstock and you may have stamped on it with one of our Stampin' Up inks and you're like, oh, that doesn't look very good. Well, that's because maybe that cardstock wasn't meant to handle that type of ink transfer, right? So, or absorb that type of ink. So our Whisper White cardstock is perfect for that. And it's also perfect for those alcohol markers like I mentioned earlier, because you've got that blending capability with that ultra smooth cardstock. So it's really, really nice for that. Okay, so we've talked about our basic white. And we've talked about Very Vanilla. So those are both must-haves, especially for some card bases, and of course for some stamping your images, coloring, blending, and that sort of thing. So now let's move on to our colored cardstock. So I have it here in front of me. Now sometimes you want to add that pop of color, right? So you need the colored cardstock. So our color cardstock, I personally would recommend, if you're a beginner and you're new to stamping, I would recommend that you purchase the colored cardstock in what we call an assortment. So here, let me come under the camera so you can see. So this is an assortment, and this happens to be the In Colors 2021 and 23. And it does happen to be the assortment of those 5 colors. However, let me show you in the Stampin' Up catalog. Let me kind of go to that page here and show you in the Stampin' Up catalog. So here is our color families, right? So we have the brights, and we have the neutrals, and we have the regals, the subtles, and we have your basics. And then of course we have our In Colors. Our In Color cardstocks are only with us for 2 years, and then they retire. That's right, so they're kind of the trending colors of the season. And so they're in with us for 2 years and then they retire. And a lot of times Stampin' Up uses that to gauge maybe a color refresh. Some of these most popular colors may come back one day. So that is pretty cool to kind of have those additions in our color palette. But what I wanted to show you was, I was talking about those color assortments. And so in your Stampin' Up catalog, you can see that you can buy the assortments in the color families along with these In Colors, which I shared with you. And so that would give you 20 sheets, 2 of 10 colors. So that's pretty cool. You're going to get 2 of each of these colors, right? If you bought the Brights assortment. The nice thing about that is then you can decide, okay, I like this color, I like that color, I'm using a ton of Granny Apple Green. And so that's when you might want to buy a pack of Granny Apple Green, which would be just a regular pack of cardstock. And so this is So Saffron, and this is just one full pack, 24 sheets. And so again, those assortments are perfect when you're getting started so that you can decide which cardstocks that you want to, which colors that you would like to use. All right, so the color cardstocks are fantastic. We have 50 colors. That's right, we have 50 different colors of colored cardstock. Plus we have the basic white, we've got the Very Vanilla, and of course black. So you have so much to choose from in this color palette. We're really excited about that. So you've got lots to choose from. And one of the things that I want to share with you is it's really nice because not all cardstock is created equal. It's not, I promise you. So sometimes you may have bought some cardstock and some colored cardstock, and maybe you've ripped it in half. And you know, maybe a good example is like paper from like Kids Crafting, their type of cardstock. When you tear that paper, well, you're going to see white in the inside. That's because that cardstock is not dyed completely through. So here, let me show you this, and I know you're going to cringe when I go ahead and I tear my Just Jade cardstock. You're going to be like, ah! No, but really, it's fantastic. And I'm not sure if I mentioned, but our colored cardstock is an 80-pound cardstock. So check this out. It's dyed completely through. So what that means is when I tear that cardstock, do you see? It's Just Jade all the way through that cardstock. And so when you start tearing paper for different techniques, or you start, doing different things, you're going to want to know that. Otherwise, you would have this white edge here, and you might not like that. And so that is one of the really nice things about our colored cardstock. I love that. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside here really quick, and we're going to move on to our patterned paper. Now, our patterned paper is actually called designer series paper. And what that means is it's a patterned paper, and it's got, it's beautiful for your card making. Now, is it a must-have? No, but it's really nice to have. They can add a pop of color. You can get some beautiful designs. You can use it for layering and for accents and things like that. So we love the patterned paper. All right, so the patterned paper is definitely more of a lightweight paper. So let me grab my paper here. And, when you're thinking about, you might be wondering, okay, well, how do I choose which pattern paper I would like to have? Well, in all honesty, it's really preference. Pattern paper or designer series paper comes in all kinds of patterns, colors, designs. So there is something for everybody out there, and it's really about what you have and enjoy. So this one is called Flowering Fields, and so this one is a patterned paper or designer series paper by Stampin' Up. And you can see it's got, these different designs. This is a 12 by 12 in size is how this comes. And you have 6 different designs. And then when you flip it over, let me flip it over here. And it looks like this one I've actually used a few of the sheets. But then you also have a design on the flip side. Generally, when you purchase your designer paper this way, you can mix and match and things coordinate. Now, one little thing that I'm excited to show you is when you purchase your paper from Stampin' Up, your designer series paper, let me show you this. In the back of the designer series paper, you're going to see the name of the paper. So this one's Flowering Fields. But I'm not sure, did you ever notice that the complementary colors or the coordinating colors are right there? That's right. So this paper is saying that it coordinates with Calypso Coral, Evening Evergreen, Fresh Freesia, Highland Heather, Mango Melody, and so on. So what that means is if you really like this paper, well then most likely you're going to want the coordinating colors of cardstock so that you can easily create and have, the coordinating cardstock and easily create with this designer series paper. And you can see the rich raspberry kind of coming out in here with that Highland Heather and the mango. I didn't pull all the colors that coordinate with this designer paper, but I did pull a few of them to kind of show you. So one of the really cool things about Stampin' Up! Colored cardstock is we have the inks that coordinate with it as well. So if there is 50 colors of cardstock, and plus white and black and vanilla, we also have 50 different colors of ink. So that's one of the most amazing things about Stampin' Up! Is everything coordinates, from the cardstock to the designer series paper to the inks and the embellishments. So I love that. So I am going to take this aside, and I'm going to just set this. I've got lots of stuff here in front of me. And so I do want to share that the pattern paper generally is about 65 pound. That's generally what it is, and so it is fairly thin. It's not meant to be a card base. It's fairly flimsy. You're going to want to use it as an accent or cut it to size and put it on top of a card base and things like that. But it is absolutely fantastic, and pattern paper is really nice to have. And again, when you're picking out your paper, just think about what cardstocks you have, so that you can coordinate what patterns you like, and just go from there. There's no right or wrong. It's really just about what you enjoy creating with, colors and things. All right, so along with the designer series paper, you may have seen us demonstrators or in the catalog talk about specialty designer series papers. And what that means is those generally have foil or glitter or something along those lines in the designer series paper. So here, check this out. It's usually got, see here, this one has the foiling in it. And you can see that when I kind of move it around. So this is a designer series paper. It's patterned. It's fairly flimsy. It's meant for, you know, the accent on your card. It is a little bit heavier than the designer series paper, but it has this beautiful, beautiful foily accent on it. Sometimes it can be a glitter accent. Sometimes it's an embossed accent, but that's what they mean when they talk about specialty designer series paper. It's, you know, it just has an extra little special touch to it, a glitter or a shine or something along those lines. All right, so I'm going to set that aside now. And let's go over to our shimmery white. Actually, before I do that, I want to point out one more thing. Stampin' Up's designer series paper can come in 12 by 12. So this piece has actually been cut. So this is, you know, I've used a portion of this, but it generally comes in 12 by 12. But I also want to show you that our designer series paper also comes in 6 by 6. So here is some pattern paper that has been cut to 6 by 6. This one's called New Horizon. It's absolutely gorgeous. And so this one is a 6 by 6 in size. Now, along with the 6 by 6 in size, we've actually added another size. And this size is 4 by 6. So here's a 4 by 6 size of pattern paper. And again, it's both sides, right? And it's just going to be fun for accents on your cards, for different, you know, paper crafting purposes, scrapbooking, and that sort of thing. So that is how our designer series paper comes. All right, so now I am going to move on to shimmery white. Yeah, so now we have white that has shimmer in it. So if you like glitter or, you know, you like that type of shimmer, then you're going to love the shimmery white. So here it is. So it comes in 10 sheets. And it is 8.5 by 11. Now it's hard to pick up on camera. It is a little hard to pick up on camera, but it does have the little shimmery speckles in it. And it's really nice. It's got that shimmery appearance for those finished, you know, type projects. But it's really good for like lightweight watercoloring techniques and things. And you know, there's different things that you can do where you can actually, when you stamp on it, you see that shimmer that's in that cardstock. So I love my shimmery whites. Really, really nice. Now, is that a must-have? No, but it's really nice to have for sure. All right, so let's move on to our foil sheets. Oh, those are pretty and so fun. They pack a punch, like a wow, for sure. Now, foil sheets, I'm going to grab my foil sheets right here. All right, so let me just set this aside. So our foil sheets, they're highly reflective, and they generally have that metallic look to them. All right, so here, let me show you. I have a gold metallic cardstock. I have a silver here, and in our new Wave collection, you know, so Stampin' Up, they add different foil cardstocks to the, you know, to our Stampin' Up line, depending on the year, depending on, you know, so depending on when you're watching this video, some of these colors may or may not be available. You're just going to want to reach out. I'd be more than happy to help you and show you where you can find that in your Stampin' Up catalog. So again, this beautiful blue is something that's new for us for March 1st of 2022, and I think it's good through May of 2022. So again, depending on when you're watching this video, it may be during the holidays when we have red foil or a green foil or something like that. Now the foil, it is just a beautiful way to add accents to your projects, and as you can see, as I kind of, you know, you can see the glare and the lights, and so it's just beautiful. It's definitely very metallic-y looking, and it's great to add those accents to your projects. Speaking of projects, I'm a part of the Creative 8 retreat, and we do this a wonderful online stamping retreat that is like so much fun. And so when I was thinking about showing you the foils, I remembered a card that I created at the Creative 8 retreat that I shared with all the attendees. And so I'm just going to give you a sneak peek of it because the foil is so much fun. So check this out. So this was done with both copper and silver foil. And it says, I love you there in the center. And it's just precious. Do you see? So pretty. Now this foil has a little bit of a technique to it. I'm not going to get into that, but it did start here with just the regular highly reflective foil. Now the foil comes in 100 pound. So that's how that comes. It comes in 100 pound. All right, so now let me put my hands on my vellum. We're going to move to vellum cardstock. Now vellum cardstock is approximately 43 pound, and it is a translucent cardstock. And so what that means is that means you're going to be able to see through the vellum to the layer underneath. That's right. So here, let me show you. So this is vellum cardstock, and let me put my hand underneath. So see, you can see my hand under there. So it's a translucent cardstock, and you can see through it. You often see it in wedding invitations, really. That's where I feel like I've seen the most vellum, is in wedding invitations. But it's fun to work with. It does create a bit of an elegance or a luxury type look to your projects. Now vellum can come in colors too. So here at Stampin' Up, and it can also have shimmer. Of course, it can be in colors or it can have shimmer. So Stampin' Up has a shimmery vellum that is so pretty right now. So I'm going to show you that. And it looks like it's in our in colors. So I'm going to pull this vellum in. And so this is a shimmery vellum. Can you kind of see that? Yeah, and so this one you're not really going to see completely through because it is a colored vellum. But of course, like I said, we do have the normal white vellum with that just pretty elegance to it that you can use on your projects, of course, for techniques and things like that. So, so nice. Okay, so now let's talk about some glitter cardstock. Yes, glitter cardstock is a thing, and it is fantastic. If you don't want the glittery mess, and you don't want to use glue and that sort of thing to like make the glitter stick, glitter paper is awesome. So I'm going to show you one of our glitter papers, and this one is called, let me tell you what it's called. It's called the Rainbow Glimmer Paper. So here, let me show you this. And so this paper is coated with glitter on one side. That's right. So it's coated with glitter on one side. It doesn't rub off. It doesn't get on anything. It's fantastic. Now this happens to be kind of, this rainbow paper, so you have multiple colors, but more often than not, you can purchase the glitter paper in different colors. All right, so it's perfect for those glittery details on your cards. And of course, any accents or die cutting or things like that. I love some glitter paper. Fantastic. All right, so we've got a couple more papers to talk about. Let's move on to our window sheets, or acetate sheets, they're also called. And so here's a window sheet. And so this is basically a completely transparent sheet that is made out of plastic rather than paper. And you can see it's bendable. And so this is made out of plastic. It's usually clear, although it can come in different colors. So it's used for like specialty cards, such as like maybe shaker cards. And you can also use it for accents on your cards, die cutting techniques and things like that. But one of the clear boxes, that's right, you can even make your own clear boxes and score your acetate sheets or your window sheets to make them into a fun box. Now sometimes these window sheets, they come in these fun kind of, they come with designs on them as well. So here is one of the sheets that I found that has a fun design on it. And it is that acetate, that plastic. You can probably hear it as I move through. And so sometimes you can purchase these types of sheets that have a fun pattern or design. And so what's really neat, let's just say I wanted to put maybe a cardstock underneath it. Well, then I could really play it up with that cardstock underneath, having that, that fun look on top. So acetate is really fun to play with for sure. And I very much enjoy using it for sure for different techniques and things and shaker cards. Okay, So let's talk about some other type of paper. How about laser cut paper? Have you ever heard us talk at Stampin' Up about laser cut paper? And you're like, okay, what paper is that? What cardstock is that? Well, laser paper is a specialty paper as well, and it's a specialty paper that has been pre-cut in a variety of shapes and patterns. That's right, and it's just beautiful. They're beautiful accents for your card making, and as you can see, this one's got a few different sheets, and so I can just very carefully pull this out, and it has been laser cut beautifully that I can use it as an accent or an element on one of my cards, my scrapbooks and projects. And so all of these things have been laser cut to make it just really super simple and easy to create those accents on my card. So that is what we mean when we talk about a laser cut paper. That's right, that is a laser cut paper. All right, now before we go, we have one more paper to talk about. We have something called a Fluid 100 watercolor paper. Now the watercolor paper, I'm going to just bring it up here. I'm not sure that you're going to be able to tell, but the watercolor paper has kind of this really kind of a rough texture to it a little bit. It is formulated to absorb a lot of water so that you can do watercoloring techniques and things like that. So I love our watercolor paper. I use it frequently and often, and it looks like it comes 10 to a pack. And so that is the watercolor paper. And again, if you're going to do any type of watercoloring, a blending, there's lots of different techniques that you can do with your watercolor pens and things like that. All right, so that is the Cardstock 101 with Stampin' Up. We have a few other cardstocks in there, but just you're going to want to open up your catalog and you're going to want to take a look. And every year, depending on when you're watching my video, the different assortments and the different offerings may change, right? So if you have any questions at all, make sure you reach out to me at brandyscards.com. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. And of course, if you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up. Please give me click the thumbs up button. I would really appreciate that. And let me know what cardstocks you like to use. Feel free to leave me a comment. Let me know what you found helpful or what maybe you didn't know. And if you have something to share with our other viewers. So feel free to add that in the comments. And if you're new to my channel, welcome to Brandy's Cards. Be sure to go over to brandyscards.com/beginners so that you can subscribe. So you'll start to get my emails. And I'm also going to do an AMA, that's right. So at the end of our video series, we're going to have an Ask Me Anything, and only those that subscribed will be invited to that video or to that, what I want to say, that party, right? So definitely go over there and do that. And again, don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you found this video helpful. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you would like some catalogs, please let me know. I'd love the opportunity to send you a set of catalogs. Just come to brandyscards.com and click on contact. Send me an email, let me know, and I'll get those out to you right away. And of course, if you're one of my current customers, I appreciate you watching. I'm grateful for your love and support, and of course for your business. So thank you for that. And until next time, happy stamping. Bye, everybody.